Automotive Group, Tri-City National Bank, your local carrier dealers, SVA, a professional services company.
In time! They got him!
Lakeland University, Lynch Automotive, Z-Bart, Cannon and Dunphy, Loyal Family Renovations, Network Health, and International Autos on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service.
It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey.
Riding with you every mile since 1977.
$1 million. That's big, really big. This September, Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is handing out a cool million, and you've got a shot at winning your share. The big $1 million giveaway is here. Just play with your rewards card and you're entered to win. Couldn't be easier and couldn't be bigger. No wonder it's called the Big One. For more details, visit paysbig.com/big one. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
We get it. Medicare supplement plans don't always include the dentist you want or provide the dental coverage you need. That's why the Wisconsin Dental Association created the new WDA Dental Savings Club. With a statewide network of WDA dentists and savings up to 55%, club members can choose from hundreds of trusted dentists to get the quality care they want and need at more affordable prices. Learn more and join at WDAclub.com.
Searching for auto, light truck tires, or service? Visit the Tire Professionals at Pomp's Tire Service. Trusted and family owned for over 80 years. With over 200 locations in 17 states. Great pricing on hand-cooked tires and all major brands. Pomp's Tire, one of the largest commercial and retread dealers, providing truckers and fleets with the most dependable 24-hour road service. Pomp's Tire, proud partner of Hand-Cooked Tire, the official tire of Major League Baseball. Never halfway hand-cooked tire. For the best deals on tires and all your service needs, visit pompstire.com.
Get out of here and go!
Covering the Crew all season long on WTMJ, it's Brewers Extra Innings. Now live from American Family Field, here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Back on track like it never even happened yesterday. How about it? The Brewers beat the Phillies 6-2. A ton of candidates for player of the game today. They won another game without a home run. Great pitching, the usual formula that we're used to for the Crew. From a variety of sources, Aaron Civale continues his strong stretch. Hobie Milner got off the schneid, and also Colin Ray registers his first career save, and he's been pitching for a very long time. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Dominic Cotroneo, here with Jerry Augustine as well. Augie, I again, the depth of this team showing off today. For me, the biggest story, though, is Hobie Milner getting the chance to get out of that frame. And we knew the bullpen situation was going to be light coming into tonight. But at the end of the day, you're as deep as your 28th guy, right? And that was the case where, yes, Hobie has fallen out of leverage favor, but because of the heavy use over the road trip, they needed to say, hey, Hobie, can you channel your 2023 Hobie Milner? And man, to leave 2 inherited runners stranded against the meat of the order from the Phils, love to see some confidence for him.
Yeah, he threw the ball very well. You know what you see when you talk about Hobie Milner and what he's doing, he's put in a pretty tough situation, had been struggling, but, you know, he's going to still get ample opportunities to get in game and to right himself. And, you know, the one thing I really like about him is the way he is as a competitor to go out each and every time. It doesn't make any difference. He'll take the ball every day. He'll go out and he'll give you the best he can. And I thought he really did a nice job tonight, going out and getting off that schneid, throwing the ball really well. And, you know, you got to factor in, you just don't know how things are going to work out from now until the beginning of October. So every time he gets a chance to get out there, he's going to go out and give you his best.
And when it comes to Colin Ray, speaking of a guy that got off the schneid, when it comes to a guy that just gave up, 10, 11 runs on Wednesday night in San Francisco, this was his first outing since then. He got skipped in the rotation here against the Phillies. For him to come in and get the final 8 outs today, and quite frankly, in very impressive fashion. Sure, he allowed the inherited runner to score on a Kyle Schwarber broken bat opposite field base hit on a pitch that was, a foot outside of the strike zone. he pitched great. I thought Colin Ray getting back on track was massive because I know some folks wrote him off already. I am not writing him off for a playoff role, and this is the role that I could see him in, maybe more earlier in the game where you have an opener and then Colin Ray follows for an inning or maybe two or no more than 2 times through an order. Colin Ray, fastball got up to 94, saw him scrape the upper 94, 95 range, and that's not an area that we normally see out of him. Furthermore, the slider looked really good for Colin to attack the zone. I thought was the biggest, most impressive part of his outing tonight.
I agree with you. You look at it, 29 pitches, 23 strikes. You must be attacking the zone. He's a master at being able to command the strike zone and be able to pitch to different zones when he needs to, and I think I really like him. One thing that goes on, Dom, when you're a guy and a starter, you dictate from the beginning of the game. You set the tone of the game. We've talked about that a lot. How a starting pitcher goes out there and he sets his tone and goes out there and say, "Hey, I'm going to pitch this team this way. I'm going to pitch a team this way." You have that opportunity to do that as a starting pitcher. You come in out of the bullpen. What is it? You got to be a strike thrower. You got to go out and you have to go and dominate the strike zone. I thought tonight was a perfect time to get him in the game. I thought it was brilliant if it was Chris Hook or whoever decided to do it. Brilliant to put him in the game after he had a game where he struggled with being able in command, to allow him to go out and allow him to beat himself. He was excellent tonight, throwing the ball to both spots, changing speeds, using his breaking ball. And, when you look at what he did tonight, 2 2/3 innings, 3 hits, and just a 1 strikeout. I'm not so worried about getting strikeouts. I'm more worried about staying in command, staying ahead of hitters, and putting the ball in play softly off the bat. And I think he did a great job of that tonight.
And in that case, in the 8th inning, he got ahead of Bohm 0-2 with a man on first and 1 out. Then 3 consecutive pitches out of the zone, a full count, foul ball, and in the zone, trusted his stuff, got a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. The pitcher's best friend, as we know, but for Colin Ray, it's how he survives. And like you said, strikeouts are not his game. It's sort of like something's going off if he's getting strikeouts. But for Ray, it's something that can build some confidence for him. He is going to get another start. Maybe he'll get another game behind an opener. He will have another bulk role here in these final 12 games. But the point of the matter is, it's never a bad thing to have too many arms to choose from heading into the postseason. I am far from writing off Colin Ray like we've been talking about, and to see that from him tonight reminds you, hey, you can't erase 4 months of great body of work for 3 so-so starts by his standards. For him to get back on track reminds everybody what he's been doing.
Yeah, and he's built around execution. How many times have we talked about he's not a guy that's going to overpower you, although he has got that sneaky fastball. And I think the one thing you do, you come out of the bullpen, like I said before, you want to throw strikes. You don't want to put guys on base. You want to pitch ahead. And this gave him an opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to take that style of coming into the game and dictating what the tone of the game is to come and say, I'm going to be aggressive in the strike zone. And just like you said, he built that to Bohm. He built that to throw a good pitch down, a little bit of sinking down in the zone, and he got the ground ball double play. That's a guy who understands what he's doing, can locate the ball, and also has confidence in each pitch he throws, and he executes those pitches.
He was great. And while we're at it, we only talked about the guys out of the bullpen so far here, with Milner leaving 2 inherited runners in the 6th, Ray earning the save. Aaron Savali worked into the 6th inning on a night that we knew the bullpen was going to be thin. And it seems like, no one goes 6 innings anymore. But against this lethal offense and against a team like the Phillies, best record in baseball, for him to do this, also, by the way, with 6 strikeouts, all 6 of them coming in the first 10 batters of the game, he had them on their heels. First time ever facing the Phillies for a lot of these guys, first time getting their eyes on Savali. That cutter was so impressive tonight, and I thought the key to his success.
Yeah, I totally agree. He's able to throw it to all parts of the zone. He was able to use his fastball, and he would throw that breaking ball down his zone. I like what he did. I think that you talk about the effectiveness of the cutter comes from where do you throw your breaking ball? Where do you throw your fastball? And he located his fastball in nice quadrants. Through his breaking ball, not very often did he throw that breaking ball up in his zone. It was down in his zone. What does that do? That makes that cutter more effective. And I thought he did a nice job. And I think when you're pitching against a team that's this talented, like the Philadelphia Phillies, what do you want to do? You want to keep the guys off the bases. He gave up the 7 hits, but only 1 walk. That is so important. important. When you look at Suarez, he gave up 3 walks. All 3 walks scored. Big difference in the ball game, but I tell you what, Savali went out there and he dominated strike zone, and that's what you have to do at this time of the season.
And what impresses you more about Savali tonight? So he threw 41 cutters tonight, which has become his bread and butter pitch. 75% of them were strikes. He went 31 for 41 in cutters for strikes. Is that more impressive, or 9 swings and misses on the cutter today? A cutter is not a pitch that's traditionally a swing and miss pitch. Furthermore, when you throw it 86 to 91 miles an hour, what jumps out to you about those two numbers?
Well, I think the effectiveness of a cutter is number one. When you're throwing it for a strike is important. I think throwing it that many times for a strike is always important because that means you're in the strike zone a lot. But to get those amount of swings comes with what have you done with your fastball. You looked at what he was doing. He's throwing in fastball, the upper quadrants, a little bit on the outside part of the plate, and then he threw that ball, that breaking ball down. That makes that cutter more effective. It kind of gets on you a little bit, has that little break at the end. That's where a cutter is effective, when you can command the strike zone with your fastball to both sides of the plate, keep your breaking ball down in the zone. Now you can open up that cutter. And one thing he did today, he threw it on both sides of the plate. And he used that cutter very effectively on both sides of the plate. Brewer pitchers are effective that have a good cutter because they do one thing. They throw the cutter to both sides of the plate, and they command the strike zone with their fastball.
Yeah, I love it when a righty's not afraid to pitch inside to a lefty.
That's right.
And when a lefty's not afraid to throw inside to a righty. That's a common thread you see
absolutely
through all Brewers pitchers. And for the Brewers, and for Savali, 1 for 8 against the cutter today were the Phillies. Only 1 hit on the cutter, 3 strikeouts on that pitch as well. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. Savali earns the win. Ray earns the save. Text from Josh in Milwaukee. Nice rebound from yesterday and a good way to start the series. Some nice at-bats and good situational hitting tonight, and good for Milner. Bailing out Savali, and a save for Ray. Just need some help from the A's in the next couple of days. So let's wrap up the first segment with some scoreboard watching. No good news to report tonight. That's why we didn't really lead with it. As the Cubs beat the A's 9-2. Also, the Dodgers beat the Braves by a 9-0 final. So the Brewers improve their record to 87-63. They remain 2 games back of the Dodgers for the second seed, but by beating Philly, they stay pat at 90-60. Even with the sweep, the Brewers would still be 1 game back of Philadelphia at the week's end. Back with more after this on 620 WTMJ.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a generator from Adams, Wisconsin's #1 rated Generac dealer. Adams provides sales, installation, maintenance, and 24/7 service from all locations. Learn why Adams is your best choice in providing power peace of mind. Visit adamspower.com today.
Time is running out on the Brewers regular season. Hurry up and catch the crew battle the Diamondbacks September 20th through the 22nd for College Night and a Brewers Puffy Vest giveaway on the 21st. Get your seats now at brewers.com/tickets.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers, where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers win 6-2 over the Phils. Got some stats and some nuggets to get into with Jerry Augustine. I'm Dominic Cotroneo. Brewers Extra Innings all season long is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. With a local Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank also knows how to hit it out of the park. They've been serving businesses in the area for nearly 15 years, offering industry-specific expertise and local decision-making capabilities, all to help your business succeed. It's commercial banking value that only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC. Tough night in Philly, not just because of the Phillies loss, but the Eagles just lost to the Falcons 22-21 there at the Link, so hang with them down there in South Jersey, in Eastern PA, as the Phils and the Eagles both fall tonight. Now, offense. I told you this number in the break, but let's dive into this. The Brewers did not hit a home run tonight. They scored 6 runs. They did it with some timely hitting and some good offense. You talked about the walks that they drew from Ranger Suarez. The Brewers are now 23-26 in games that they don't hit a home run. They may not sound like an all that remarkable record, right? That's 3 games under 500. Yeah. But when you think about it, like, wait a minute, they've won 23 games in which they have not hit a home run. That winning percentage is .470. That is the best winning percentage in games without a home run in baseball. And it shouldn't be a surprise when we see how the Brewers are lined up, and today beating a lefty without the long ball. Man, that's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, it was a manufacturing Monday. They just went out and they manufactured the 6 runs and did a job. But I am amazed that their record is 23-26 without hitting a home run. It's just it's amazing. But we live in an era where the home run ball plays such an important role. A lot of ballparks are ballparks where the ball flies a little bit. You think about our ballpark here where the ball gets up and you hit it straight down the line. The ball jumps out of here. You think of going to Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia is a ballpark. You hit it in the gaps, the ball flies. Go to Cincinnati, ball flies out of there. So there's so many nice offensive ballparks in Major League Baseball that I suppose you have to sit back and realize that 23-26 is really pretty good.
I think the Brewers are going to be the antithesis to traditional postseason teams, because we talk about how home runs dominate the postseason and that how important it is. Like, the team that out-homers their opponent is something like 75-10, I want to say, over the last 4 postseasons. And this team, yes, they can hit home runs, right? William can hit homers. Willie can hit homers. Reese can hit homers. Gary can hit homers. But on the days that they don't have it, they don't need to rely on it. Like, I look at a team like the Yankees, just to pull one out of a hat here. The Yankees are a team that needs the home run ball. I mean, Judge has hit 50-something homers. Soto's hit 30-something homers. They're lacking in power elsewhere. Giancarlo Stanton hits homers, but when he doesn't hit homers, what is he good for? So when you have a versatile offense like the Brewers have, that's where teams are scared of you, because if you can do both in the postseason, like, all right, you get men on base, and we talk about the 3-run homers all season long for Adames, you're always on edge, you're always worried about what could happen. Or then you get a 2-out rally that forms out of nowhere, a 2-strike opposite field base hit by Bryce Terang off a tough lefty, or Joey Ortiz ripping a triple to right center field with 2 outs and 2 strikes, the backbreakers that we talk about all year. That scares me as much as the home run, because the inning is never really over against the Brewers.
It is, and they win ball games so many different ways. It's always fun. I sit there and I'm listening to the ball game, and all of a sudden we get into the land of Dom when he comes out with all these statistics about they're the number 1 team in baseball with taking pitches and all these little different stats. But when you sit back, Dom, and they say them and you think about them, it's really it's a winning formula, what that has. It all comes together in that era and saying that, you know what, this team wins a lot of different ways. Can they hit home runs? Yes, they got guys who can hit home runs. But at the same time, they have guys who are patient at the plate. And we talk so much about this ball club, how they control the strike zone. Patience, taking pitches, doing the things they have to do to win ball games.
When you look at the Brewers tonight, starting against the lefty, Ranger Suarez, we've talked about how the Brewers are a sub-500 team against lefties. I thought it was important that they scored first, and also that they scored multiple runs. A 2 RBI double by William Contreras. Oh, by the way, 116 miles an hour off the bat. That ball was scalded into left center field to score 2 runs. That inning, with a 1-out walk to Churio at the top of the order, then Perkins, a 2-strike single. Contreras' double came with 2 strikes as well. Yeah. I mean, William, also, I love the double. I'm not going to complain about a double ever. But how impressive was it that he also drew 2 walks today? That's kind of it shouldn't be that surprised that the Brewers had such a strong offensive attack when their leader is, as Pat Murphy calls it, meeting the game halfway, not trying to do too much. Yes, we know he has the thump in the bat to hit a double 160 miles an hour, but when he's got the patience to hand the bat to the next guy and the trust in the next guy, that's when this lineup becomes relentless.
And you see it, let's look at this ball club, and if you look at right now the three key hitters that they have in a ball club, Cheerio is one of them, Contreras, and Adames. Mm-hmm. All three of those guys go up there with what? Patience, and are willing to take a walk. Now, tonight we saw Adames a little free swinger a little bit. But when you talk about in big games, when you talk about needing that run, they go up there patient at the plate. They look for a good pitch to hit, and they're going to take the ball and hit it where the ball is pitched. But those three guys, when you take them, and getting on base, taking the walk, going deep in the counts, it just exemplifies what this ball club is. Patience, taking a lot of pitches, and saying, you know what, we're going to give you a good at-bat, and they do that constantly during the game. It's not just those three guys, but they're the three guys that kind of set the stage when you see all these other guys go up and have good at-bats and hit the ball all over the place.
We talked about it in the blowout on Saturday in Arizona, that the Brewers had as many home runs as they had strikeouts in that game. Well, tonight, they had 7 strikeouts and 5 walks while scoring 6 runs. I mean, this is a team that is just always on base. Yes, they went 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position, but you can say, hey, 1 more hit, and that's 3 for 10. Furthermore, they had 2 sacrifice flies, which is something the Brewers don't do all that often. They're not very good at elevating the ball with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. So I loved seeing that from the Brewers, specifically the guy that I think really excited me about his performance tonight was Joey Ortiz, because Joey's had a tough second half. Yep. I was just kind of clicking around and looking back when the Brewers last saw the Phillies in June. Terang and Ortiz were like 2 of the leading hitters on this team. Terang was hitting 300. Ortiz was hitting in the upper 280s, and obviously he's not hitting that anymore. To see some confidence from him, 2-strike triple, 2-strike sacrifice fly, doing what the situation calls for, hey, this guy's batting 7-8-9 for you. That's some gravy there on top of those mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I like what they do, and I like what Murph has done for most of the year. I really like the lineup against the right-hander. When you have Terang leading off, and then you have Cheers second, and go to Contreras. That lineup to me is that's my lineup when you got a right-hand pitcher. But a lefty's a little bit different in how you have to do it. And I like how Murph does it. He just Cheerio to the top and changes it from there. Today was Perkins, who did a really nice job today, swinging the bat. But you look down in that bottom part of the lineup. Bottom part of the lineup is usually Ortiz and then Terang batting ninth. The bottom 4 guys in the lineup tonight were 5 for 14. They scored 3 runs and had 3 RBIs. Yeah. So production is done in a lot of different ways, but I like what the balance that Murph is trying to do with this lineup now, trying to get these guys who still give you a good at-bats, right or left, and I put them in a position to be successful.
Yeah, they won a game in a game that which Willie Adames was the only guy that didn't reach base.
That's right.
I mean, how many games are they going to win in that fashion as well? This text from Danny on the east side: if we sweep the Phillies, will we hold the tiebreaker over them? So here's how it works, in case somebody hasn't heard this before. They will obviously be tied in head-to-head record, having only played 6 games against each other. 3 wins for the Phils, 3 wins for the Brewers. The next tiebreaker, if your head-to-head is tied, is your divisional record, meaning how have the Phillies done against the East and how have the Brewers done against the Central. The Brewers only have 3 more games against the Central. That's the Pirates next week in Pittsburgh. Right now, they have 30 wins against the Central Division. The Phillies have 27 wins against the East, and they still have 2 more series against divisional opponents. So that could come down to the wire as well. We're hoping, of course, that the Brewers win a series in Pittsburgh and move to 32 wins. If they sweep the Pirates, that would force the Phillies to, I'm doing the math in my head right now, that would force the Phillies to win all 6 of their games. Then it goes to intra-divisional record, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. The point is, there is still a very good chance the Brewers could have the tiebreaker head-to-head with a sweep. But hey, you got to win tomorrow before you win on Wednesday.
Let's win today. Let's keep winning today. I thought today, after yesterday, was kind of a little bit of a tough game to go through, and everything that happened. There's a lot of questioning on Murph, and what happened the last inning where you came in the inning before he's throwing the ball so well. But I tell you what, it just shows you where this team is. You play hard that day. Let's win today. You turn the page. You come back out. I thought they played really good baseball against a good baseball team tonight. They beat them by what? Manufacturing runs. And there's different ways you win. You win with good pitching, you get a good bullpen, and then you manufacture runs. They came out when they needed to. They scored one. When Philadelphia scored, the Brewers scored. And that's what you do. You go out and you play good, solid baseball, and that's what they did tonight.
They were fantastic. The magic number is 2, which means the Brewers would have to win tomorrow and couple it with a Cubs loss in order to celebrate here on the field. If the Brewers don't win tomorrow, there will not be a celebration no matter what happens down in Chicago. So let's hope it's over these next 2 games that the Brewers can get it done and have a party here at the ballpark. One more segment with Augie after this. 855-616-1620. Again, 855-616-1620 is the phone number here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
The final summer sales drive is going on now at the International Autos Group. Get spectacular savings of up to $15,000 and 0.9% financing is available for 60 months. Every model in our 2,000 car inventory is priced to sell. The International Autos Group, Milwaukee, Waukesha, Sheboygan, and Brown Deer. Or at IAAutogroup.com, where our ordinary needs to be extraordinary. Financing with approved credit, $1,709 per month per $1,000 financed on select models.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life downright miserable. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we are committed to eliminating your nasal breathing problems with simple in-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty, which requires no surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. At Advent, we understand your inability to breathe freely limits your quality of life, and that's why we continue to pioneer the most advanced in-office procedures that have made our practice a global destination for those seeking to live their highest quality of life. Visit AdventKnows.com to see if you're a candidate for the balloon sinuplasty procedure, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers get the win 6-2 over the Phillies. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Jerry Augustine is here too. The numbers that jump out to me as well, the Brewers have not allowed the Phillies to score more than 3 runs in any of the 4 games they've faced them this season. I think that's a very significant number given how quality of an offense the Phillies are, and Savali and Milner and Ray deserve plenty of credit for what they've done tonight and even back in June against them too.
Yeah, they've been playing very well against this team. This is a good Philadelphia team, and what you have to do, there's certain guys, don't allow them to hurt you, and I thought they did a nice job. I remember you just talked about Colin Ray gave up the base hit to Schwarber, and he just off the end of the bat, and that's a good at-bat. You got to give credit. He just did a nice job at that. This is a good offensive ball club. They will hit home runs, and when they get on a little bit of a roll, they're going to swing the bat and score some runs. So I think the Brewer pitching staff has done really an outstanding job against this ball club.
Also, to wrap up that note I gave you about the not hitting a home run, in case you're wondering, since the Phillies also did not hit a home run, Brandon Marsh did hit a home run tonight. So this point is moot, but not every team can do what the Brewers do. The Phillies, they have a .350 winning percentage when they don't hit a home run. That's a 100-point difference between the Brewers and the Phillies. That's massive. Let's get to the phone lines here. 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. Ricky in Honey Creek, you're live here on Brewers Extra Innings.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Energy.
I went to the Brewers game tonight, and it was very interesting. Savali was very good. Actually, this is my 4th Brewers game this year, and 3 of them, Aaron Savali started. So, Brewers are perfect when I've been to the games this year. So that's
sounds like you need season tickets, Ricky.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I just want to say I was kind of surprised seeing Colin Ray come out of the bullpen tonight, but I don't know, is there like a different injury to a pitcher, or are they just saving arms? I don't know. But,
yeah, it was mostly the latter there, Ricky, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, this team, they're really fun to watch this year. Nobody expected them to really do anything, especially after they traded Corbin Burns away. But you just never know with this team. They can go on a stretch where they're stinking really bad. They can go on a stretch when they're good. And right now, this team is fun to watch. I would prefer if they get into the top 2 areas, but probably not going to happen. Let's go Brewers. And my friend wanted me to say this. I'm probably not supposed to say this. But,
all right, you're getting cut then. If you're not supposed to say it, you're getting cut if you're not supposed to say it. So I'm not going to trust you, Ricky. Appreciate the call, though, my friend. It's all good. We don't mess around with that kind of stuff. The FCC don't play, man. But anyway, let's talk about what he said there, too, about this team's on the cusp of a playoff and they're fun to watch. I was actually joking about this with Matt Arnold earlier today. I'm like, you're the guy that traded Court Birds, and you're going to be the first team that punches the ticket to the postseason. He's like, I don't want to talk about it yet. We haven't done it yet. I'm like, I get that, but come on, man. And he just kind of smiled and laughed. And I think this is going to be something when the day comes, if it is tomorrow, we're going to sit here and be like, the team that traded Corbin Burns is going to be the first team in the postseason in 2024 because baseball, right? Because baseball.
It is baseball. You know, you think about this ball club, and it was Christian Yelich was on the telecast the other night, and I thought he said a lot of neat things. And the one thing that impressed me is that anytime you make a change, whether it's a manager or a general manager or whatever, you're going to have a little change in culture. And the culture is going to be a little bit different because why? Personalities are different. Murph has a different type of way he approaches things. He approaches this thing like he's got these college kids. Having these young kids in here allows him to say, I know how to be patient. I know what we're going to do. I know what we have to do to be good. Matt Arnold says, I'm going to get you the best players I can. The one thing that impresses me about this ball club, and they talk about spring training, when they talk about a certain play or certain things that they want to do, they talk about it. How many times do you say, we just go out and practice it and we do it? This team does a step further. They go out and they talk about it. It's just like the young players when you're drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers. You come to Milwaukee and you learn about the game of baseball. Some of the things that are going to be your hardships, what's going to go about as a player, what you have to be as a human being, how you want to be in your community. That all blends into what this organization and the culture that it has. And I think that's a real credit to Matt Arnold, Mark Antanasio, most of all, Matt Arnold, and I'll tell you what, Murph, because he followed in, he brought in his personality to bring the culture here. And I think, Dom, you're a lot closer to the ball club than I am, but I bet you see that. You see that culture that, everybody's there for what reason? Win today, and how do we do it, and how do we do it the best way? And they talk about it, and they go out and do it.
They certainly do. And on the Colin Ray front there with the bullpen and why he was available out of the bullpen today, because he put the team in
That's
first.
Right.
And yes, he's a starter traditionally. I don't think it impacts him as a starter. As we said earlier, he will get another bulk outing, whether it's after an opener or as a traditional starter. That has not changed, but he saw that the bullpen was going to be thin tonight. We did not get clarification on Yoel Payamps as he dealt with forearm tightness yesterday.
Right.
He played catch today. He was in the bullpen, never got up. Trevor McGill was not going to be available today. Jared Koenig was not going to be available today. Aaron Ashby was not going to be available today. Joe Ross was not going to be available today. So Colin Ray saw all that and said, hey, if you need me, I'll be ready. And they needed him. He was ready. He earns the save. I think that can't be lost on how valuable that was tonight for the Crew.
Boy, just to go out and, he's the type of player that I think whatever you ask him, he'll go out and do, number one. But I think he takes every time he has an opportunity to go on the mound to do something to make himself a better player and a better pitcher. And tonight, I think he took a step because, number one, not starting a game, not starting a tone, came in, the tone was already set. He took that tone and he just pitched 2 2/3 of great baseball tonight.
Let's get one more caller in before you get out of here. David from Aquanago. David, you're live here on Brewers Extra Innings.
Hey, guys. I was just watching the game tonight, and I really, it seemed neat to see how careful they were pitching Jackson Churio and just some of the different Brewers batters. It seems like teams respect and fear just the high-quality at-bats this team gives, like you guys were talking about. And also, I was just wondering, with the bullpen, I know it seems like pretty set in stone playoff roster. Personally, I don't want to see Elvis Figueroa on there. But, what do you think the chances are that Jacob Mizrowski gets called up for, the September time?
I think we've said it before a few times, Augie. Appreciate the call, David. But He would be up here by now if they wanted to use Jacob Mizorowski in the postseason.
You're exactly right. They would have had him up here already. I think they want to stay. You stay with what you got and what's gotten you there, and you allow him to go and have the success that he has. And boy, next year he's going to come in spring training with fire in his eyes and hopefully get an opportunity to make this ball club.
And David, don't worry, Elvis is in AAA right now. So it's all good. He's still got some development to do and to figure things out and try to be a factor in this bullpen next season. Because you look at it right now, assuming everyone's healthy and assuming everything's as it's supposed to be, right? You've got Devin in the 9th. You've got Trevor McGill, or hopefully Yoel Payamps if he's healthy, in the 8th inning. You've got Aaron Ashby. You've got Jared Koenig as leverage lefties. Oh, by the way, you still got Brian Hudson down in AAA who will be on this playoff roster. I know he's not here right now. It's by design to give him a breather, to get him cleaned up a little bit right now. So that's 7 guys I just named right there that can all pitch and leverage. And that's before we even talk about maybe situational opportunities, like maybe DL Hall gets an inning or two, maybe Colin Ray gets an inning or two, that sort of thing, where the Brewers have a ridiculous amount of depth. And Mizorowski, yes, he throws 100. There is a command flaw there with Miz. They want to be confident in the most important games of the year for a guy making his big league debut.
Absolutely.
There's something there's no need to rush it because there is no need for it in the bullpen right now. If there was a need, if something changes and everything hits the fan, then we can have this conversation, but there's no need for it right now.
Well, here's a guy that was a starter, put him in the bullpen, and you know what? He goes in the bullpen. He's been throwing the ball very well. If they found a little glitch to where you can do, here's the perfect time when you take the off season to refine it, and that's what you do. That's what this. I think one reason why you see this ball club have so many great young pitchers. They go out and what they do is they take what they do and they make it better, and they take the things that are not so good and they try to make those things better. But they go out and they learn each and every year. When you see a guy leave at the end of the season, he comes to spring training and he'll talk about the things that he needed to correct, what he worked on hard, and it's probably going to be the same things that we talk about here on the things he needed to work.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Augie, it could be a really fun day tomorrow with
great day.
Potential for a clinch. If it is a clinch, we'll have a jam-packed show. I'll be in the clubhouse gathering interviews. We'll have Greg Matzik. We'll have you. We'll have plenty to talk about from this contest. If tomorrow is a clinch, maybe it'll be Wednesday, but nonetheless, we'll have it all ready to go, and happy to have you on board.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Before I leave, I just want to give a shout-out to Ken Sanders and the juvenile diabetes outing today. And the reason I want to say that is the 4 guys that had to golf with me, I want to give them a lot of credit because they put up with a lot. I hit the ball, not very well, but I hit the ball. We had a great time.
Sounds more like an apology of like pulling you along.
Maybe that's what it is. After I hear you hit the ball straight down the middle, I said, well, I got to at least say thank you for putting up with me.
And my putter's in timeout right now, so it's no big deal. Jerry Augustine here on WTMJ. Thanks, Augie.
Great being with you. Looking forward to tomorrow.
All right, fun stuff. Brewers win 6-2. More to come after this on 620 WTMJ.
The National Weather Service has issued a tornado watch.
Go to a place of safety now. A tornado warning is in effect.
The danger in the thunderstorm alone is definitely there. We have wind gusts where it's at 50 miles per hour and lots of lightning in the storm system.
Keeping you updated on the weather so you can keep you and your family safe with severe weather coverage on WTMJ. Sponsored by Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. It's your knee that's bugging you, right? Or is it your back? For some of us, it's the hips. Achy joints with pain you can't get over. Well, there is a way to fix it. There is a way to get lasting pain relief using your own body's healing properties. It's all thanks to QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. QC Kinetics can help enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing all the fun things you like to do without pain. No surgery, no painkillers, and no downtime. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using cellular therapies. If you want to learn more, the consultations are free. You can set up an appointment at QC Kinetics. They have clinics in Mequon and in Greenfield. Here's the number, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call now and get lasting joint pain relief with the help from QC Kinetics. 414-285-3474.
Any exterior remodeling company can give you a lot of good reasons to get a new roof, siding, windows and doors, or masonry work. Aesthetic appeal alone or just resale value help it all make sense. But I'm compelled to continue to tell you what sets Semper Fi apart from the rest. What you're going to get from Semper Fi is a reputation that is backed by an undeniable stack of proof that we are who we say we are. Our character is guided by a level of trust and accountability which not only holds our teams together, but also keeps our reputation intact. And ultimately, that means leaving you satisfied. So when you're about to make that big investment in your home, isn't that what you want? This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers get the win 6-2, 855-616-1620 is the phone number, 855-616-1620. I'm Dom Cotroneo. So let's talk about this real quick with the bullpen. Superb win tonight. This text from Mike in Colorado. Colin Ray really stepped up. How does his appearance affect his rotation spot? And then this one from the 414, seeing Ray pitch out of the bullpen shows how discombobulated the pen is. I disagree with that statement. It worked tonight, but I fear playoff baseball explores the warts. I don't think there's warts. I really don't, because Ray stepped up and said, hey, you need an arm tonight. I know I'm not normally one of those arms, but I'll be it for you tonight. And I was thinking about this all night, and after yesterday's tough loss and the 4-hour game, whatever. You know, you think about it. Let's say you're in a division series, okay? And the way that those games work is you'll have 2 games at the higher seed, off day, 2 games at the lower seed, off day, game 5. So it's 5 games in 7 days. Now, if you're going to play 5 games, that means you are, in theory, trailing in the 9th inning. Maybe the game's going to extras or wherever. But there is a scenario where, you know, your leverage arms are going to pitch in 4 or 5 of those games in a 5-game series. The only time you would pitch 3 days in a row would be in the National League Championship Series when games 3, 4, and 5 are all in the same lower seed city. So I see it as the Brewers had to get through this stretch, these 2 games, without using Devin. They obviously knew they weren't going to have McGill or Ashby and any of those guys available. Heck, maybe those guys aren't even available for tomorrow either, so Frankie Montas needs to have some length too. I don't see the bullpen as discombobulated in the slightest. I see it as Colin Ray stepping up when the bullpen needed a breather. And also, give credit to the Brewers' offense scoring 6 runs today. And yes, I know Devin got loose. Devin got loose yesterday too. We all know how that happened. We knew he was available. The point of the matter is, this was a day that's more important for the guys in the middle, the guys between, you know, the starter and Devin Williams. Okay, we still don't know Yoel Payam's status until tomorrow. You know that you were going to have to be thin in the middle there, right? Maybe normally that would have been a spot where Hobie Milner came in with 2 men on and nobody out. Maybe in the playoffs, that's a spot for Brian Hudson. Or maybe that's a spot for Jared Koenig in the playoffs. But today, it needed to be Hobie Milner. And man, that was so clutch for him to kick it back into gear, to find that version of Hobie Milner to get through the 6th inning. He came back out for the 7th, wasn't as effective, and then Colin Ray slammed the door to make sure the Brewers would get the opportunity for the win. He got the final 8 outs of the contest. And I don't see it as discombobulated in the slightest. I think the bullpen is in super, super great shape. 12 games to go. Magic number is 2. Vibes are great here in Milwaukee. Want to remind you that Brewers Extra Innings is brought to you by Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They offer 5% off service for veterans and seniors all year long. Make sure you mention this offer when scheduling your appointment, too. That's cider.com, SEIDER.com. Families helping families since 1912. We'll hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, coming up next on 620 WTMJ.
When the power goes out, your life is disrupted. Heat, air conditioning, refrigeration, phones, all gone. Be prepared for the next outage with a Generac home standby generator. After sensing a power outage, a Generac generator automatically restores your home's power, whether you're home or away. Power your life with a generator from Adams, Wisconsin's #1 rated Generac dealer. Adams provides sales, installation, maintenance, and 24/7 service from all locations. Learn why Adams is your best choice in providing power peace of mind. Visit adamspower.com today.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
The new fractured boulders we now have in stock are really nice. They're squarer and more rectangular in shape, and they're great for building dry-laid retaining walls. They're much easier to deal with, lock together nicely, and you get less gaps. No wet mortar needed. And we've stocked a multitude of colors. You can use them as an accent item to add character to your dry river or creek beds, too. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our organic mulch is comprised of all trees. Most mulch is made from ground-up pallets, and you don't know what might have been spilled on those pallets. Could be chemicals or who knows what. But not our mulch, we're recycling trees. Many species of hardwoods. Cedar, hemlock, light brown, dark brown, mocha, black, red, gold, and caramel. 7 colors to choose from means a mulch to match any exterior. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Brewers get the victory. Magic number is 2. Everyone's in a good mood all of a sudden again. And oh, by the way, the Brewers, they won both series on the road trip, going 2-1 against both the Diamondbacks and against the Giants on the heels of having that tough series loss at home to the Rockies, who, oh, by the way, beat the Diamondbacks tonight and won a series against the Cubs as well. So it happens to other teams as well. Don't act like you're the only ones that have lost a series to the Rockies this year. It happens to everybody. It's not the end of the world. Good teams lose to bad teams all the time, and bad teams lose to good teams all the time. And good teams, like we saw tonight, the Brewers and the Phillies, both very good teams, play great games. And that's what this one held. 855-616-1620. If anyone wants to get some last-second text or calls in. But in the meantime, let's hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, after today's victory as the Brewers get her done, and they are on a little bit of a hot stretch, having won 7 of their last 10.
Yeah, we can adjust if we need to, but he was fabulous tonight, and saved us. All 3 of them. That's a monumental job by Telly and Milner and Code Red.
Murphy said it. 12 different guys with a save. It's just kind of been the definition of this team, hasn't it? Everybody chipping it and doing what it takes.
Yeah, how about Sal Frelick's play tonight, huh? Playing against the lefty, huge double. And then score from first, and then that play in right field. I mean, that's you don't look at Sal and say he's got a cannon. That ball came out in 91 and right on the money. That's not his first assist. He's had many, but he's been incredibly underrated defender. And Joey Ortiz and Turang, all those guys are just like underrated contributors. So Contreras had an unbelievable game behind the dish. You got to give Contreras a ton of credit here. He was unbelievable behind the dish, navigating Hobie, navigating Colin, 2 guys that haven't come into leverage like that, very often. And Hobie's been coming off a couple tough results. The ground ball up the middle by Baker and the homer by the kid from Colorado, Hilliard. So that's where we're at. But Hobie's done it for us for 2 years, so we believed in him. Guys did a great job. Joey Ortiz, huge hit for us to give us an extension. Yeah, big sac fly by Sanchez.
How big of a big momentum swing was that 6th inning where Hobie comes in and shuts it down, and then you guys turn it on with 2 outs in the bottom of the inning?
That's big. I mean, that's the game. Staying relentless. All the stuff we do with 2 outs, and a lot of inning left. 2 outs. There's a lot of inning left. 1/3 of the inning is left. So
Hobie's the inning in the 6th, man. He's going to really lean on that for the rest of the year. We don't know what his role will be for the postseason. Unlikely to be included in that. But, man, that's something that helps you win and have a chance to be a 1 or a 2 seed because of moments like that. Highlights, how about that? That's coming up next here on 620 WTMJ.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of Ciders, and their highly trained technicians provide a one-stop shop for all home and business comfort needs, including an emergency service line that's always live and a 12-year parts and labor warranty on all Daikin products. Get peace of mind by scheduling maintenance today with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. That's SEIDER, cider.com.
I don't like onions. I'm doing paleo. Do they have gluten-free bagels? You can't juggle every food request for a work event, or can you? EasyCater is the all-in-one tech platform that makes it easy to get restaurant catering for work, with options for any group's size, taste, dietary preference, or budget. EasyCater saves your favorite restaurants and orders, which makes reordering a snap. Need to modify an order? No problem. So when it comes to food for work, make it easy on yourself with EasyCater. Start your order at easycater.com.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
I was stuffed up. It was almost like someone put a clothespin over my nose. As an athlete, it did affect my performance. And as I got older, the congestion and poor sleep really took their toll.
Mike's a lifetime athlete. After hearing about Advent, he felt he could finally find a solution to his breathing triangle problems.
With my congestion, the kind of sleep I was getting wasn't allowing me to function the way I wanted to.
When your nose isn't working like it should be, it's going to negatively affect your sleep. And then you really can't be at your best at anything that you're doing.
It's been about 5 years since coming to Advent, and what balloon sinuplasty did for my quality of life, that step I took was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Balloon sinuplasty can help solve your breathing triangle problems, which will help you sleep better, and that's going to help you live a better quality of life.
Unlock your potential. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ. Ready for this?
Get up!
This?
Get up!
And this?
Get out of here! Go!
Time for tonight's highlights. Here's Dominic Cotroneo.
Brewers and Phillies opening up a crucial 3-game series here at American Family Field. Ranger Suarez, lefty, getting the ball for the Phils, as Aaron Savali, who's been great for the last month plus for the Brewers. This game was scoreless in the first, stayed scoreless in the second, thanks to another key defensive play from Sal Frelick.
A little soft liner through the right side and into right field for a base hit. Stevenson turns second, on his way to third. Here's the throw, and they got him. Sal Frelick gunned him down. What a throw from Sal.
What a shot from Sal as the Brewers got another defensive run saved, if you will. He leads all right fielders in defensive runs saved. Then the Brewers offense showed up in the bottom of the third inning with 1 out. Churio walked. Then Perkins singled, setting the stage for Wild Bill.
2 pitch is a liner back up the middle and into left center field. Churio around third. He will score. It splits the defenders, rolls all the way to the wall. Perkins cruising around third. He's in there standing up. It's a 2-run double for William Contreras, and the Brewers have struck first in this series.
Lane Grindle's call here, so they're out in front. Only the second time they scored first in 4 games against the Phillies. Then the Brewers offense in the 4th inning got a rally started from everyone's favorite, a leadoff walk. Then it was a double by Sal Frelick, and Joey Ortiz would tag a sac fly. However, the Phillies would respond with a solo homer in the 5th. Savali was still rolling entering the sixth, but allowed a pair of singles to start the frame. With a thin bullpen, the Brewers had to go to Hobie Milner to face Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, and Alec Boehm. And man, Hobie Milner turned back the clock and got the job done.
Ground ball right back to Milner. He snares it on a hop, flips it to Hoskins, and Hobie Milner gets out of the jam in the sixth.
It only took 10 pitches to retire the side for him and leave two stranded. So the Brewers still leading at this point by a 3-1 score. Looking for some insurance, they would get it in the bottom half of the inning against one of the toughest relievers in the game, Jose Alvarado.
1-2, runner goes, line drive right center. Gap written all over it. Frelick's going to score with ease. Ortiz is going to keep going for third. The relay throw late. It's an RBI triple for Joey Ortiz to extend the lead to 4-1.
That made it from Jeff Levering on the call. They weren't done in the inning. Still a tough AB for any lefty, Bryce Terang.
Line to left. That is down a base hit. Bryce Terang delivers. 5-1 Milwaukee.
That would be the end of the day for the offense for that inning. They would add a sac fly in the seventh. Colin Ray would enter as well in the seventh inning, too, after relieving Hobie Milner. He allowed one inherited runner to score, but otherwise got Turner to fly out. But then in the eighth, he allowed Nick Castellanos to reach on a single and leaned on his defense to get out of the frame.
Pitch to Boehm. Ground ball to short. Double play ball. Adames, Terang, and Hoskins. 6-4-3. They roll up two.
And finally, in the ninth, Ray was somewhere he'd never been before, looking for his first professional save.
Hit off the end of the bat to right. Sal Frelick is there, and this ball game is over. The Brewers with a 6-2 triumph for the Phillies in game number 1 of this 3-game series.
A victory for the Crew. The magic number improves to 2. The Cubs also won, and the Dodgers also won, so the Brewers still remain the third seed in the National League. Wrap up the program after this on 620 WTMJ.
Spend your lunch break with Greg Matzek.
When there's an anniversary, the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum tends to find a way to get behind it.
And Jessica Ty.
They're like using the most famous monument in France to establish one's dogma and remind the whole world forever that you made the 2024 Olympics.
During Wisconsin's Midday News.
College student, bartending, I had a lot of cash. In fact, that's all I had was cash.
Just dollar bills.
Right, and because you didn't have mobile deposit.
Only on WTMJ.
It's the last home stand of the Brewers regular season. Be here when the Crew take on the Mets, September 27th through the 29th. Get to the jam-packed series for Fan Appreciation Weekend. Get your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
You've probably heard about employee stock ownership plans before, but what separates Fifth Third Bank from others when it comes to these plans? A succession plan that benefits business owners and employees. Full and partial sales, second stage transactions, repurchase obligation financing, and seller note refinancing, ESOPs can offer tax advantages, increased liquidity, employee incentives, and overall diversification of net worth to help your company plan for the future. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Hi everyone, Jeff Levering here, and when we moved into our home 10 years ago, we knew the time would come to replace our roof. That came sooner than we thought with the storms during the spring. So we called the pros at Ridgetop Exteriors, and they did more than just live up to their motto, trusted, local, and affordable. Within just a few weeks, we had our new roof picked and completed. Their team treated us just like family, and the customer service was a real home run. Give Ridgetop Exteriors a call and book your appointment today to ensure your project gets completed before the next big storm.
We found that the high road is worth the climb, and it's less crowded. At Semperfi, everything we do is done to the best of our ability. There are no shortcuts. It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned. It is in our nature to keep our values intact so that when we leave your job, you'll be right there to shake our hand with satisfaction. We've installed massive flat roofs and shingled huge churches, schools, and all kinds of homes from modest to extravagant, all with integrity and pride in our work. And we're going to keep doing it for generations to come. That's what Always Faithful means to us. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semperfi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semperfi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semperfi.
This is Brewers Extra Innings on WTMJ.
Final segment here. I'm Dom Cotroneo. A couple minutes left in this program. So here's the game plan if the Brewers are able to clinch tomorrow. We will have plenty of coverage live here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ. Again, the only way the Brewers can clinch tomorrow is with a victory. It does not matter what happens down in Chicago if they lose. However, if the Brewers win, they have to wait on the Cubs to also lose. So there is a scenario in which the Brewers win tomorrow, but the Cubs also win tomorrow, meaning no celebration, keep it on ice until Wednesday. And then Wednesday, the magic number in that situation would be 1, meaning either or, if the Cubs lose or the Brewers win. And keep in mind, the Brewers play a night game on Wednesday. The Cubs play a day game, so by the time the Brewers arrive to the ballpark, we could know on Wednesday whether or not the Brewers have clinched or not. So let's just get it over with tomorrow, shall we? Let's have some fun with it. Same time, same place tomorrow. First pitch is scheduled for 6:40, on the air at 6:05 here with the On Deck Show on WTMJ. Frankie Montas will get the ball against Zach Wheeler. A couple of aces, a couple of opening day starters. Of course, Frankie was the opening day starter for the Cincinnati Reds this year. Frankie, 7-10, a 4.49 ERA. Wheeler, 15-6, a 2.60 ERA. He's one strikeout away from 200. Frankie, as a Brewer, this will be his 9th start. He's 3-2 with a 3.40 ERA. The Brewers are in really good shape with their bullpen, maybe after today's big effort from Colin Ray. This last text from Logan, wondering if you feel any different about this year going into the playoffs versus years past of 21 and 23. Honestly, this gives me more 2018 vibes. I know they're not the number 1 seed, but just the fact of the multi-headed monster that is in that bullpen that the Brewers can use, not so reliant on their starting pitching, I think could be a masterpiece with a couple of guys that can bop a home run. And I do feel similar to 2021 with that bullpen, right? Remember how great Devin and Boxberger and Hader was? But, hey, let's just punch the ticket and then start to assess based on your opponent and maybe chase down the Dodgers or the Phillies for one of those buys. My thanks to our producer, Matt Yazel, and to Jerry Augustine. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Keep on swinging.
Trust in your family's comfort at home with Cider Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. They're the oldest family-owned HVAC company in southeast Wisconsin. 4 generations of cider.